Arousing, Achanjo Bardo Dane Gamso, Nagi Jeje Yebe Sanamki, Dola Benjere Sangi, Buddha, Jeda Zagi Jana Ba, Janjo Bardo Dane Gamso, Nagi Jeje Yebe Sanam, Dola Benjere Sangi, Doba, Jo Sangi, Jeda Zagi Jana 正就巴多那年耶说切那耶切切一百三那米，这拉边界三年就巴拉说，no，在就也没到。Dhammayri Ramayri Aishi Nyinde Aye Boinde Sangi Aishi Do Nyinde Aye Mewari Ôi quyên namai nai chi lo chư bò chú yi da mong gu ro ra men da la gam ni ya da ya Okay, yeah, please sit down. Thank you very much. Yeah. So today's topic would be the fifth out of the six perfections or the six transcendental qualities known as concentration. Okay, transcendental concentration. I will explain in a bit. So basically the fifth one is known as concentration, and this is what we are going to cover today. In English, we call it concentration, we call it meditation, we call it meditative absorption. Okay, absorb, meditative absorption, meditative concentration. So there are so many different ways of translating this. So I'm just going to break down the words, what it means in its original the roots. So in Sanskrit, it's called samadhi, or in Tibetan, we call it samden. So basically, there are two sort of two words there, sam and den. So sam is to think. So sam means thoughts, okay? Thoughts. Den means to place. To place the mug on the table, to place the pen on the table, like that, to place. So basically, samden, or the fifth one, is the out of the sixth perfection. The fifth perfection is all about placing your thoughts or placing your mind. So placing your mind means mind is not like an material object. So you cannot pick it up for a normal person. You cannot pick up your thought and put it there, and it will not remain there. It will not stay there. It will not be placed there. So the practice is all about bringing your thoughts from one place to another place, then making it stay there, placing it there. So that's it. That's why it's called thought placement. Okay. So some is thoughts, then is to place. So placing your mind, placing your thought. So this is what the fifth perfection is all about. So normally we translate that as meditative concentration, or meditative absorption, so on and so forth. Or sometimes we just call it concentration. So the first, when we say it's a concentration, we are not wrong. We are correct, because it is concentration. But then there are so many types of concentration in this world, right? When you are playing a game, you are concentrated. When you are driving a car, you are concentrated. When you are in a conversation, you're also concentrated. So these are all concentrations. But the concentration that we are referring to right now is not that type of concentration. So the concentration that we are talking about, we are referring to right now, actually has to come through meditation. So one way of putting it is meditative concentration. So that is also the right understanding. So even if you call it meditative concentration, that is the right way to put it. Or if you say meditative absorption, that is also the right way to put it. Because once, basically, even it's better because absorb, you are completely absorbed in the focal point, in the point that you are contemplating on, you are thinking about. So you are totally absorbed. Nothing distracts you. So that is meditative absorption. So that is also a correct way of thinking. So whatever sits more comfortable with you, you can think it that way. So in Sanskrit, samadhi, in Tibetan, samden. So you can think of it in the way that sits more comfortable in your thoughts. So as I read through the book, so it's by the way, it's page number 248, Transcendent Concentration in the English version. So in the book, when I read the book, there will be reference to concentration. So when it says concentration, you are not talking about ordinary concentration, like concentrating on your studies, concentrating on your driving skills, gaming skills, this and that. Not ordinary concentration. It's talking about meditative concentration. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, so here in the Pedro Rinpoche's book, Order of My Perfect Master, he says it's impossible to develop concentration, okay, without first renouncing excitement and distracting preoccupations. So as I said, concentration, it's not ordinary concentration. It's sometimes we call it a higher concentration. Higher in the sense that, we have the mundane worldly things and then the super mundane things, right? So anyway, this is meditative concentration he's referring to. So in order to engage in meditating, in order to develop meditative concentration, one needs to renounce two, we call them two faults, or two faults. So the two faults, one is going too much hyper, which is excitement. And then the other one is too much hypo, right? Going too low or going too high. Going too high means excitement. Going too low means distraction. So he says, without renouncing excitement and distracting preoccupations, you will not be able to develop concentration. Okay, so you need to go to a solitary place, an isolated place, stay there, and then start practicing, and by giving up distractions. So that is what Pedro Rinpoche instructs us. So the question arises, because he said, in order to develop meditative concentration, which is a very good thing, you need to give up a lot of things. You need to give up all the distraction, and okay, that is also a good thing. Then he said, go to an isolated place. So leave your comfortable home place, everything, and then go to an isolated place and then work hard and all these things. So what is this crazy talk, right? Why can't I just stay in home and stay with my family, my loved ones, comfortable home, all these things? Why can't I practice in my comfort zone? And then Pedro Rinpoche reminds us that you want to stay in this comfortable place with your comfortable people, friends, family, this and that, because you are attached to them. And that attachment is basically nothing but distraction. And so therefore, you need to get rid of that distraction. And why you need to get rid of that distraction? Because everything that you you are stuck or you are clinging, okay, clinging in this world, whether it's your friends, friends and family, which you think so good, so much attached to, or your enemies, which you think so bad, so negative, so much like animosity there. All these things, all these emotions, this is the emotions that we have towards them, as well as their very nature, are fleeting, temporary, that friends may not remain friends forever. Even families become enemies, right? And then enemies also become friends. So nothing is permanent. We think it is permanent. When we have attachment towards someone, we feel like that is the most solidifying thing, concrete, solid, 100% true. But after some actions, after some incidents, then that emotion also changes. Then you think someone is your enemy, someone is harming you, you have so much hatred towards them, and then later you understand that you find out that there has been a misunderstanding. Someone was putting someone was creating different misinformation between the two of you, and then you understand that the person that you really hate from the bottom of your heart, and you have nothing in disagreement. You actually have so much commonality, and you love each other. So nothing can be 100% true in the sense that it is worthy of clinging. So that is why Pedro Rinpoche says there is nothing to be distracted, nothing to be attached for, nothing to cling towards in this world. Yeah. So this is a very important observation that Pedro Rinpoche makes, that he says parents, brothers and sisters, spouses, friends and relatives, not those external like people, but even internally, myself, my own flesh and bones, they also which we receive by the time of birth, so which has been since my birth, which seems the most original part of ourself, our body and our flesh. Even they deceive us at the end. So basically what it means is at the end we have to separate with even our bodies, let alone our loved ones. So understand the futility and um, the futility of being attached, basically the futility of being attached to your loved ones, to this world, to your career, this and this, all these things. Leave those things aside and then seek solitude. And then he is now quoting one master, Repa Shivavu. So everyone who has the name Repa, they usually are followers of the Milarepa.
Yeah.
So Repa Shivavu, who is one of the Milarepa's student, so his story is also very interesting, but okay, I'm just going to make it short. So Repa Shivavu has a different name, and he actually used to be the son of a very rich nobleman. And then he used to indulge in luxury things and do all the, like that. And later he met with Milarepa, and then that changed his mind. And then he never wore any leather shoes, and he wore only one piece of cloth to cover his body, like that. So anyway, so Repa Shivavu, he said, Buddhahood is within ourselves alone. Although spiritual companions support our practice, having more than 3 or 4 together brings up hatred and attachment. So I, for one, shall stay alone.
Yeah.
So even though spiritual friends are important to practice, because that's the sangha, but I think as a beginner, I think he's referring more to us than himself. So as a beginner, if you have too many spiritual companions, what you end up doing is, instead of developing spiritual practices, you end up engaging in spiritual gossips. So it's better to have less, or just to practice alone. I will read on. So wanting things is, this is Zapetu, okay? Wanting things is what causes all of our troubles. We are never satisfied with what we have. And the wealthier we get, the more avarice, the more attachment we grow. And there's a saying in Tibetan, being rich means being more miserly, being more stingy. Basically, okay. Or again, like the rich, the more you get, the more you need. And then also there's a saying in Tibetan, to lose your enemies, lose your money, right? If you want to lose your enemies, lose your money. If you have no money, then you will have no enemies. The more resources, money, and property you own, the more danger you face from your enemies, robbers, and so on. You can spend your entire life acquiring, protecting, and increasing your wealth. This can only lead to suffering and negative actions. The sublime Nagarjuna said, amassing wealth, guarding it, and making it grow will never, it will wear you out. Understand that riches bring unending ruin and destruction. And this last line is very beautiful. So even if one man were to own all the wealth and possession of the entire universe, the entire world, it would not change the fact that he could still only need enough food and clothing for one person. What it means is, even if you are a multi-billionaire person, His Holiness also always said this, even if you are a multi-billionaire, you can sleep in only one bed. You can sleep in only one house. You cannot sleep in two houses or two beds. And then, yeah, if you are even if you are a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, you can only wear one set of clothes. If you wear too many clothes, it will look funny, and you will become the ridicule of the people. You can only carry one set of bags. You can wear only one set of clothes, and you can drive only one car at a time. So basically, even if you amass the wealth of the entire universe, you can still use only one at one time. So therefore, having attachment towards material possessions is of no use. I mean, you can get distracted by that, and that is what it is. It's merely a distraction. There is nothing of value there. There is nothing to hold on to there. If you know it as a distraction, if you see it as a distraction, enjoy the distraction like a show in the street, and then go on with your duties, that is all right. But if you get distracted by it, if you think that distraction, that show in the street is the real thing, and stuck there, and stop going to your work, stop going to whatever you have important thing you have to do, then you are being fooled. Zapetru continues. So he says, even if you are the richest man in the world, you still you can only eat one person's portion of food. If you try eating more than that, you will get sick. So basically, we usually work so hard to amass so much wealth in order to fill our stomach, cover our body with the cloth, and then put a shelter on our roof, shelter on our head, right? So basically these three things. And then, so he's saying, all these clothes you can wear only one at a time. All this so much money that you amass, the food you can eat is only one person's portion, like that. And then in order to get that much money, in order to those unrelenting pursuit of money, because it's not just money. So once you get to, because when you are very, very, very poor, you just want to get money. And once you get to sort of a certain stage or middle stage, you want to get more and more money for the sake of getting more rich. But once you get quite rich, then it becomes important that money is not the most important thing, but it's actually you need to have a social status, social standing. So in order to get that social standing, you spend all of those money that you have acquired. In today's time, you get into different clubs and anyway, so you try to get into different clubs by buying this and that stuff. So you get into those clubs. If you don't possess this and that product, you cannot get into those clubs. So you get into those clubs. In order to get into those clubs, you spend all those hard-earned money for something that doesn't have any value other than your perception of it. So a social setting is a perceptive thing. So you think and people think you are so and so, and then that is it. And the people kind of respect you, give you the social standing when you purchase your social power, social status. When you get your social status through money, they are respecting not you, they are respecting your wealth. So once that wealth is no more, then they no longer have respect for you. So it is not a pure or sincere respect. So basically, when you lose your money, you lose your social standing, you lose everything. Because in order to get rich, get the money, you have lost your friendship, you have lost your life, you have forgotten to enjoy life, you have forgotten to live, spend time with your family, all these things, you have sacrificed everything. And when you have, in order to get money, you sacrifice everything. And when you get the money, you want to get the social standing. And when you get the social standing, even you want to get more and more social standing, because the people on the social ladder, which is higher than you, dominate over you, and you want to get higher and higher. So basically, you end up in that that cyclic, the cycle, vicious cycle. And I've seen that a lot. Like people work so hard to get wealth, a lot of money, and once they get the money, in order to, because they made their money through illicit ways, improper ways. So once they become very rich, they don't have a good social standing, because even though they are rich, people don't kind of really respect them. So in order to gain that respect, they spend all the money that they have gained. So, and by the time they have that social standing, they don't have that money anymore. And because they don't have the money, they lose their social standing, because the social standing that they gained is only because of the money that they have. So that they end up in that vicious cycle, and then they before they can do anything about it, they just pass away like that. So this is what Pedro Rinpoche is reminding us of. Yeah. Whether you think like that yourself, or if you are influenced by your friends, your surrounding, to think in such a way, as mentioned earlier, that is a distraction, and you must give up that distraction. So if you have such kind of friends who actually influence you to pursue material gains only for this life, because material gains we can only use for this lifetime. However, billions of tens of thousands of billions you have, you can only use this lifetime. Once you die from this life, you may come back to this world, you may not come back. So you never know. So anyone who tells you to amass great amount of wealth or material wealth is basically stuck in pursuing material things for this lifetime, current lifetime. So these people are in the Dharma world, in the Dharma world, we call them childish friend, childish. So they're childish because childs usually cannot think like too far. They only think about the very, very momentary things. That's why, yeah. So they're called childish friends, and they are not grateful for any help you may extend to them, and in return may well do you harm. If their desires were not gratified, then they will not be they will be hard, and they will do you harm, or they will try to hurt you, this and that. And no matter what you do for them, it's never right, this or that. Okay, so those childish friends he's referring to, and they're very hard to please. And then this is a very important observation. He says, if you have more than them, they get jealous. If you have less than them, then they look down upon you, undermine you. So, and if you are equal, they still say, why, like that. So that's for that reason. The more time you spend with them, your negative actions and negative thoughts will multiply, and your positive actions will come down, dwindle. So therefore, renounce such friends and keep well away from them. So basically, first thing he says, renounce those material distractions. And now he's saying renounce those friends or surroundings who influence you to gain those material things. Yeah. So it's reminding us again that occupations such as commerce, agriculture, industry, and academia. So basically, all the activities that we do in the world, like mundane things, all these things are endless distractions, and those trivial pursuits keep you constantly busy for inconsequential goals. However much effort you make, none of it has any meaning. None of it has meaning. There is no end to the process of overcoming rivals and favoring friends. So basically, one thing you must understand is that like commerce, agriculture, basically all the jobs that you do, these things you need to do. You need to engage in those to work to survive. Okay, so but in the ultimate sense, if you get distracted by those things and end up you end like um, end up doing only that in your life, then you are getting to the wrong end. Similar to when you go to you go to the street fair. You enjoy you enjoy the show, you enjoy the ride, you enjoy the food, all this thing, and then once it's done, you come back home and come back to your reality. If you get stuck in that street fair, which as a child we do that, we are so much mesmerized and amazed when we are in a street fair, and then we want to stay there for our like whole day, whole life, something like that. But if you get stuck there, if you don't see the distractions as distractions, then that's the problem. But if you can see the distractions for what they are, and then just do it as something that you have to do, that is okay. So it's important to bring that understanding, bring that mindset over. So he says, abandon all those endless activities and distractions like so much spit in the dust. Leave your homeland behind. So basically what that means is leave your comfort zone. Homeland is reference for comfort zone. Okay. The page I'm looking is page number 249. So leave your comfort zone, leave your homeland behind and head for the unknown lands. Okay. That is like the last paragraph. Dwell at the foot of rocky cliffs with only wild animals for your companions. Settle your body and mind down in a state of ease. Stop caring about food, clothing, or what people say. Live out your life in deserted places where there are no other human beings. So then he reminds us of Milarepa, Jesu Milarepa. He says, in a rocky cave in a deserted land. So basically, Milarepa says, when you live in solitude, in isolation, without anyone, just by yourself, you will feel so lonely and so sorrowful. So kind of maybe sad too. So that sorrowful state, that sadness is something that we must acquire. If you get to that level of sadness and that level of sorrowfulness, then you will start to think deep. Otherwise, you get that kind of high excitement and everything get distracted by this and that. So when you are feeling low, then you no longer have that distraction. It's like a helicopter. Okay. So when the excitement, the helicopter is soaring, it's going to all the places that it can go. So when the fuel is gone, there's no more fuel in the helicopter. It has to land. Then it's stable. It comes down like that. Zapetu reminds us that if you do as he did, if you follow what Milarepa just said, then as the saying goes, so the saying, this is a popular saying in Tibetan, it's a folk, usually you say that in places where you feel lonely, concentration arises. Okay, so here concentration refers, as I said, concentration refers to meditative absorption. Okay, so when you feel like in a place where there is you feel loneliness. So basically, what happens here is, when you feel lonely, when you feel sorrowful, sad, basically you feel low. When you feel low, you're not soaring, you're not flying, you are lying low, lying down. So that means there is no excitement anymore. in a worldly manner, in generally speaking, that is a bad thing. Oh, no more. Now I'm sad. I'm feeling bad. This and that. But from a spiritual point of view, from a practitioner's point of view, that low point, that sadness, that sorrowful state, that disappointment can actually be utilized, converted for something positive. Okay, something positive in the sense we call this renunciation. So it helped us to loosen the grip, not hold too tight, loosen the grip, the clinging on our material things, whether it's material things as in objects or material relationship, this and that, or everything that we hold so much into, so clinging, right? All these are unshackled. All these are loosened when your mind is feeling low. Okay, so normally generally in life, when you are feeling excited, happy, joyful, so much energy there, you want to go outside, enjoy, drive, ride a bicycle, walk, meet friends, all these things. And then when you feel sad, you don't want to do any activities. You want to disengage yourself from any activities. So this disengagement is actually disengage. When you disengage from any worldly activities, you're also disengaging from distractions as well. And when you disengage yourself from distraction, if you have to train yourself to distract, it's very difficult. But now when you are sorrowful, when you are isolated, when you are lonely, when you are sorrowful, when you are sad, you are naturally, automatically, environmentally disengaged. Okay, so then environmentally, you have this advantage of disengaging, distancing from all the distractions. And that is the best place to practice. So, yeah, so that's why I don't know in all the traditions, but in Tibetan Buddhism is very much so that most of the devotional lines, devotional prayers, when we make the devotional prayers, the melody that we have for devotional prayers, actually the melody, by listening to the very melody, we feel a little bit sorrowful, a little bit sad. And that sadness is required. That sadness is necessary. So, and also when we engage in different practices, like rituals to gain wealth, rituals to gain long life. So these are, when you are doing the long life practice, then it has a sort of an empowering sort of melody sound. When you are gaining wealth, then it also has a different sound, different melody, etc., etc. Anyway, my point is, so in order to, sadness is nothing bad in the spiritual world. When you get sad about everything in this world, that is actually, so there are two worlds, the mundane world and the super mundane, right? So when you get sad about everything in this world, actually it drives you forward to the higher world, the super mundane world. So for that reason, so I'm reading the book. It's page number 250 in the second paragraph. So that's why all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, they found tranquility, they found peace, they found enlightenment in solitude, not in masses, but in solitude, by walking in isolation, right? So then there was a reference to the sutra called the Moon Lamp Sutra. So here the Lord Buddha says that simply having the wish to go to a solitary place like this and merely taking 7 steps in their directions is more than making offerings to all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of 10 directions. So he says, again, it's also said in the book, in the perfect secluded place, deep in the mountains, everything one does is good. Yeah, you might argue by saying, oh yeah, you can do only good thing because there's no one around, so you cannot have jealousy, you cannot have anger, attachment to anyone. So that's why you are doing a good practice. If you come to the real world, you will still have anger, this and that. Maybe true, but as a beginner, as a practitioner, we need that kind of environment where we cannot have any anger, where we cannot have any attachment, where we cannot have any jealousy, because we are by ourselves, standing by ourselves. So we don't have any of those triggers, right? So that is important for us. Yeah. So these are all the important points to highlight it on, Zapedru is highlighting on the distraction side. Okay, so now he talks about the actual concentration, actual meditative absorption. So actually he didn't so because this is just an outline, so he said very little. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the book just little, as he just said, and maybe some other time we can, because meditation is a big topic anyways, so we're just going to go through very simply. Anyway, Zapedru also said very simple. There's only 3 lines for the whole concentration thing. So the actual concentration is of 3 kinds, he said. The concentration practiced by ordinary beings, concentration which clearly discerns, and the excellent concentration of the Tathagatas, the Buddhas. So there are 3 types of concentration. It's true that when you are practicing concentration, meditative absorption, you are seeking bliss, you are seeking clarity, you are seeking absence of conceptual thoughts, different thoughts popping up like them. So basically, this is the monkey mind he's referring to. Absence of thought in meditation, right? So you have all those things, and you have those. You are seeking all those things, but if you have any slight form of attachment, okay, towards those things, of course you are the reason you are doing meditation is to get bliss, clarity, absence of thought. Absence of thought means monkey mind, okay, free from monkey mind. So absence of thought in meditation. So these are all you are seeking. But if you get attached to that, and then when you are in a deep meditative absorption, you have blissful experiences, all right? And when you are attached to these things, that is called the concentration practiced by ordinary beings.
Yeah.
So now, next is you're no longer attached, okay, to the meditative experiences, okay? When you meditate, you get meditative high, okay? You get meditative bliss, they call it. So you get that thing. So you're attached to that is ordinary. So you're no longer attached to the experiences, the feelings, the emotions of meditative blissfulness, but yet still you are stuck. So the key word here is clinging. You are still clinging to the idea of shunyata, or emptiness, okay, the philosophy of emptiness, as an antidote, because emptiness, shunyata is the key thing, very, very important in all the Buddhist practice. But if you think shunyata, if you are still clinging, okay, shunyata is still the antidote, but if you cling to shunyata as an antidote, then it is called clearly discerning concentration. Yeah. So the first one is attached to emotions, feelings. Second one is attached to ideology. When you free yourself from the attachment to the feelings in meditation and ideology in meditation, so basically you free yourself from 2 of those attachments, then remain in a concept-free concentration on the nature of reality. So concept-free here refers to no more conceptual thoughts. Conceptual thought, you can refer to it as so you have usually have the idea of monkey mind. So monkey is big, is jumping from one tree to another tree, big jump, all this thing. So concept or conceptual thought, think of that like a cockroach, okay? It's not as big as the monkey, it's not jumping that high, but it's tiny and it remains forever. Cockroaches are supposed to survive a nuclear radiation. Even cockroaches can even survive nuclear radiation. So just like that, here the concept, okay, remain in a concept-free concentration, right? So concept here is normally we call that conceptual thoughts. So conceptual thought is like a cockroach. It is not as big as the monkey. It doesn't jump that high, but it's still tiny and it moves all around and is very difficult to catch and very difficult to get rid of. So when you have that concentration free from all concepts and no longer attached to the feelings of meditative bliss, as well as the concept of emptiness as an antidote, then you have what is called the excellent concentration of the Tathagatas, the Buddhas. When you practice concentration, it is important to sit in the 7-point posture of the Vairocana Buddha. I will explain if someone need to explain. Okay. So basically, stay in the 7-point posture. Because when and one of the key thing in the 7-point posture is to straighten your back like an arrow, it says. So there's a line, it says, when the body is straight, the channels inside within us are straight. When the channels are straight, the energies flow smoothly. Okay, the energies are straight. When the energies are straight, the mind is straight. The mind is flowing freely. Yeah. So do not lie down or lean against anything, but sit straight upright, your mind free from any thought. So here thought is reference to that cockroach. Okay. And then rest in equanimity in a state where there is no grasping to anything. This is the key word here. So whatever thought comes, just let them come. Don't grasp, whoever comes in, just let them come. Don't stand up, shake hands, hug, talk like that. Don't engage, just let them go. And that is, just let them come and let them go, let them be. That is the essence of transcendental concentration. Yeah. This concludes today's teaching. So I think we have a couple of questions here. The first question is, Rinpoche, why can't we have some of our spiritual companions supporting our practice? I don't get the questions exactly. Are you saying, okay, I'm just assuming that your question is that why can't we have some spiritual companions? So yeah, if that person, your spiritual friend, is contributing in your spiritual practices, then that is a true spiritual friend, and so you should befriend them, get close with them. And otherwise, spiritually, we should distance them. Okay, there may be your family, there may be your friend in the mundane world, so you can keep a close connection with them in the mundane world, but don't listen to them on spiritual matters. Okay. The second question, it's a very, very good question. Rinpoche, what is the most important goal in meditation? Is it to free of thoughts from our mind or to gain concentration? So that's a very good question. And that's okay. So the key in meditation, very simple, very, very simple. Two goals in meditation. Okay. The first goal, not first and second, but two equally important. Okay. Not one is more important than the other. So two equally important goals in meditation is stability and clarity. Okay. So in concentrated in meditation, the goal is first thing is to gain stability, to make it stable, not distracted, not wavy, not scattered here, there. Make it stable. Okay. Make it strong and stable, like a mountain. Sometimes we call it sturdy, stable and sturdy, like a mountain. Mountain never moves like that. The next is to gain clarity. Even if it's very sturdy and stable, but there is no clarity, it's cloudy. When you go to the mountain and then it's all cloudy, you cannot see anything. There is no view, there is no vista, there's no enjoyment. So once you get to the top of the mountain, those cloud has to be cleared. If you are on the mountain, top of the mountain, and there is no cloud, then you enjoy the view. So first thing, like a mountain, steady and steadiness, stability. Secondly, like a clear sky, no cloudy, no cloudiness, no fogginess,
Yeah. So stability and clarity is the key, the two equally important goal of meditation. So the next question is a complicated one, and I think she has forwarded it to our excellent translator, Mr. Hong. So can you please provide the question?
Yeah, let me see lah. Rinpoche lah, how could we apply renunciation to stay in solitude, to start practicing as a lay people? We still have
no,
so
not
many...
that one.
Yeah. Which one lah?
There's one by Kim Ang. So she said she has actually forwarded.
Kim Ang.
So it's a direct message to you.
Yeah, Kim Ang. I saw it. CC sent in Vietnamese to my Zalo. So let me have a look lah. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Please have a look. Yeah. Rinpoche La says 2 points here. First thing is when you teach about the attachment and renunciation, we are as a lay people. We are still have our life and our work. We still have our family. We have our old parents and young children, and we have to take care of the old parents and old and young children. So if we practice renunciation, so we cannot fulfill our responsibility to our parents and also to our wife and our children. So that it is a kind of conflict. If we give up gaining material things, we cannot fulfill our responsibility. So that is a very first question. The second question, you also talk about the non-attachments on the material things. But when we are staying in this life, we still have to make money to fulfill our life. And also we feed our old parents, feed our young children. And also we have to do some charity work to gain merit. For example, we give our money to the poor people, to the old people. And also we have to offer the treasure, offer the master. So if we stay in this life and we give up making money, how can we do such a thing? How can we gain merit? How can we take care of our family, our parents, and even offering to the treasure? Could you please make it clearly on this point, please? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you for the question. And I was expecting this question in any case. So that's a good thing that came up, so we can make some clarification. So as I said earlier, these are all distractions. And when you see it as a distraction, not an ultimate goal, then it is safe for you. If you think that is the ultimate goal, then it's not good. As I had said much earlier, so you end up in this vicious cycle of making money, taking care of family, making money, taking care of family, all these things, and then not developing yourself any further. Eventually, everybody you love will die, even you will die. And then because you have not done much spiritually, you end up in the same place in next life and another life, 10,000 years, 10,000 lifetimes from now, you still end up same thing, no development, no progress, nothing. So for that reason, it's important to see the drama of worldly life as it is. See it as a drama, but enjoy it. Engage in the drama, also important, because you are in this world, we have to engage. If you buy the ticket to go to a movie, you don't say like, oh, this movie is fake, everybody is an actor, this is fake, they didn't kill anyone, there's no bomb blast, nothing. You don't say that. You just enjoy it as there is a real bomb blast, there's a real plane crash, everything seems so realistic. You enjoy it for 2 hours, okay? Then you come out, then you do something else. If you come out of the movie and you feel like, oh, there's a big plane crash, there's a big bomb blast, and the world is end, think like that, then you are getting the priorities wrong. Okay, so when you go to the movie, you see the movie as a movie, just like that. All the worldly mundane things, see it as it is, see the futility of it, and see it as a drama. See it as drama means a show. Show has a time, right? 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 day, whatever. When it's over, then get to the real life. Okay, so real life here means Don't get stuck. So the show is stuck in only one lifetime, this lifetime. The spiritual practice is not stuck in this lifetime. It continues from this lifetime to next lifetime, and so on and so forth. If you practice, if you disengage from this worldly, so okay, I will reiterate, say it once again because it's important. Okay, so just like the movies, when you are doing the movies when you are in the movie show, engage in the movie like everything is so real. Get scared when there's a ghost coming. When there's a bomb blast, get scared, shock, surprise, cry, whatever you want to do, just do it. When it's over, come out of it. Don't get stuck there. So the important thing about renunciation, important thing about detachment is not to get stuck. Okay, not to get stuck. Enjoy it as it is. Don't get stuck there. Usually, there's a very the good example is this cup is very useful for me. I need to drink water. Once I'm done with drinking water, I'm going to put it there and then, not engage in that. If I want to drink more water, I will go and pick up. Otherwise, if I put this glass down after drinking my water, my hands are free to engage in any other thing. So when I disengage from this thing, I can engage in many other things. If I stuck myself in this cup, this hand is tied, chained, cannot move. Now this hand, and also this hand, I pick up something and don't put it down, then both my hands are stuck, tied. Okay, so that is the thing. Once this job is done, put it down and pick up something else and then go on. So that is disengagement. Yeah. So yeah, non-attachment is letting go, right? And a lot of time we think of letting go as giving up. That is not correct. Okay. So when I put down my glass on the table, I'm letting it go, but I'm not giving up on my glass. I'm going to use it. One example, when we go to the office and park our car in the parking area, we're letting go of our car because we have other engagements, but we are not giving up on our car. So this example was actually given in Shantideva's Bodhisattva Charya Avatar, the way of the Bodhisattva. So he used the example of a boat. So when you cross the river, in order to cross the river, you require the service of the boat. But once you get across the river, you leave the boat on the side. That doesn't mean you give up on the boat. You're not destroying the boat. You do your thing, whatever, on the other side of the river. And then when you come back, you still use the river to come back. So in today's term, it's the car. Okay. So basically letting go, non-attachment is to give, to free your hands, to free your life, to make it more free, not to give up and not to give up. Yeah, basically it's not letting go, is not giving up. Okay, so last question is, how could we apply renunciation to stay in solitude, to start practicing as a lay people? We have so many responsibilities with our families. I know that's the reason why we are really in a bad situation to get any progress in Dharma. And when should we start meditation practice? So there are basically two questions. One is, how should we practice renunciation as a lay people? And how do we stay in solitude as a family member? So maybe two sets of questions in the first round. And the second round is, when should we start meditation practice? Okay, so I'll go with the first one. When we start meditating, if you mean like in a day's time, usually morning is the best time to practice meditation, but not always. Sometimes it's good to meditate in the evening. So it depends on someone's mood, everything like that. Okay. When you renunciation, how to apply renunciation as a family member, I already talked about renunciation, so I will not go to that. But how to start practicing in solitude? Okay, that's an important question. So there are two types of solitude. Okay, permanent solitude and temporary solitude. Okay, as a family member, as a young family member, you may not be ready yet to give up your family and go to the mountain, all these things, right? Even if you're even as a monk, sometimes you're not ready for that. So basically, but temporarily, we do a lot of retreats in the monastery. So those retreats are temporary solitude. Okay. So by engaging in the temporary solitudes, like retreats, we do for 1 week, 1 month, years, etc. like that. And that you can apply the same method. Okay, you can every day you can dedicate 1 hour, 15 minutes, or 10 minutes, or just 2 minutes every morning. Okay, just 2 minutes, nothing else, just 2 minutes. Dedicate for meditation. Yeah, so do that, and once you become very good in doing 2-minute meditation, you can progress to 3 minutes meditation, then 4 minutes, advance, and slow. And then when you get very good at something, when you really enjoy something, then you don't need anyone to tell you, push you, nothing. When you really want to do something, everybody will maybe against it, but you will still do it. Okay. Yeah. So it's been 2 hours today. So it's been a really long session. So thank you so much, all of you, for your time and your dedication, your devotion. So now we will do the dedication, first in Tibetan and then in Vietnamese. Oh, Janju Zemjo Jembo Che Ma Ye Pa Nama Ge Gyu Geba Nyamba Meba Yang Kone Kondo. Oh, sorry. Gewa Di Nyordo Da Lama Sangye Chokyo Rowa Jenya Ma Ba Kege Sala Gebara Sho Chanju Zemjo Jembo Ma ye ba na ma ye gyuro je ke ba nyam ba me ba ra yang gong ne gong do pe bo ra shu hoi me de re je ne je si je me ge wa bo ja de boy my lu jo my ze sa ve na ai je ge zo ge zo ka na sa ta be sha la so wa mi me ze de je ne je se de me ge be wa bo ja be ya de bo ma jo ma ze sa ga je ge be zo ge zo ga ba lo sa ta ja la so me ze ve de re je ne je si ti me ke be oi boy ja be de oi mai lu jo mai ze sa ve na kan je ge be zo ge zo ga ma lo sa tai be sha lai so wa de lo sa tai be sha lai so de dembe nyingbo zembe benga shin nama do yu gen la chang chu lo san chi ye nyam ze cho gen do den ye zho nam ba ra se wa
Thank you, Rinpoche La.
Thank
Anh
you.
sẽ-
Thank you very much, Rinpoche La.
Thank you. Everyone.
Xin
Thank you so
cảm ơn tất
much.
cả quý vị đạo hữu ạ. Vâng, xin
Thank you so
cảm ơn
much.
tất cả quý vị đạo hữu. Vâng ạ.
Thank you, Rinpoche La.
Xin
Yeah, thank
hẹn
you.
gặp lại các quý vị đạo hữu vào chủ nhật tuần sau ạ. Vâng, hẹn gặp lại các quý vị đạo hữu.
Bye.
Cảm ơn Hưng nhá.
Have
Quý
a
vị
great
tốt đức tất
weekend.
cả quý vị đạo hữu ạ. Vâng.
Cảm ơn Hưng
Bye.
nhá. Hưng Thịnh An Hòa.
Bye everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye Rinpoche La.
Bye bye
Cảm ơn.
everyone.
Thank you, Rinpoche La.